Hi there, I'm Nicole Matheson. We're going to talk today about the IFS model of parts using the metaphor of the garlic and hoping that this really helps us understand our inner world and how it can be the model that can really help us understand ourselves. And I'm going to do this with some drawing.
You know how in Shrek and in other sort of movies or, you know, Instagram psychology, people often talk about the onion and how we're like an onion and we just have to peel off layers of the onion off, off, off to get to this juicy core of who we are in the middle. Well, I propose a different prospect of thinking about our inner world. Yeah. So instead of the onion, let's look at it, the garlic. And the garlic, if you remember, right in the center of it, this kind of forgotten bit of the garlic, which is this central stem. And the central stem of the garlic in the sort of IFS model is like the self with a capital S. And the self is the part of us that is truly who we are. It is the heart, the soul, the life force, the energy of who we are. It is the self energy that we were born with and will be with us when we take our final breath. It is with us for life. It is indestructible. It's not going anywhere. And we can't actually destroy it. It's the self, that energy that is us, that is love, that knows and trusts our worth, is always within us. And in fact, it is the core. It is the central part of who we are. It's not going anywhere. But what happens as we go through life is we accumulate parts. And in this metaphor, the parts are like the cloves of the garlic, right? We have this central stem, this self, but we also have multiple parts. And I think it can get really confusing sometimes when we think of our inner being as this unified oneness, right? Because there could be a pull inside of us towards, running away and leaving and getting out of here. But there can be another part of us, another pull within us to stay and to cling on and to do whatever it takes, or to beg or to plead to stay, right? And we can get really confused about who the heck even am I? And I think it's really helpful for us to have the idea or the model for thinking of ourselves as a multiplicity of parts with this central stem. And so what happens is, as we are growing up and we're going through life, and hard things happen to us, events happen to us, difficult, uncomfortable feelings come our way, we develop and adapt by having these parts develop inside of us. And this part, for example, this guy here, he might have developed when, one example that I often give my clients is that you're in class as a little kid, you put your hand up, you answer the teacher's question, and you get it wrong. And the teacher tells the class that it's wrong, or tells you that it's wrong, but every one of your peers laughs at you. And you feel in that moment so humiliated, like, being drawn into the earth and disappearing. And you just feel so uncomfortable, so ashamed, so awful, that there's a part of you that develops here that wants to protect you from ever feeling that way again, right? And so it develops, it adapts, and what it does is every time there is even the whiff of an opportunity for that same event to happen to you. So it could be you're in a board meeting now as an adult, or you have a public speaking event, or a speech for a friend's 50th, or whatever it is, that this part then rises up and it takes over your system. It takes over your thinking. It takes over your belief system. It takes over your physiology. It might affect your tighten your jaw and constrict your throat and increase your heart rate and make your gut clench. And it also has its own narrative, right? It says things to you to try and get you out of this situation that it perceives as dangerous. So it might say something like, you are stupid. Put your hand down. Do not speak. Everyone's going to laugh at you. Not because it believes these things to be true, but because it has one agenda and one agenda only, and that is to keep you safe from that same horrible, uncomfortable feeling and that same situation happening again. And so it will say and do whatever it needs to do to keep you safe in its one agenda. Now, it's these parts of us, they're very rigid, they're very inflexible, and they're very small picture focused on that one thing. They do not see the whole picture. They do not see the holistic well-being of your life. They don't see the benefits for you of speaking up in the board meeting or speaking at your friend's party or any of that connective, relational, professional benefit that might come your way. Not interested. This part just wants to keep you safe in this one way. And so it will do and say whatever it has to say to keep you safe, right? But what we need to remember is that just because it's saying these things, that you are stupid, that you don't know what you're saying, that everyone's going to laugh at you, just because it's saying these things to us does not mean it's true and does not mean it actually thinks that. It is just saying whatever it needs to say in order to keep you safe. All right. So I'm going to do another video about what we need to do to bring our activated parts back down to where they belong as a clove of a garlic.